Hey guys, Danny here from Giro. We're just going to go through a few quick things today. This video is kind of aimed at people who are just getting into cycling. We've seen a lot of new cyclists out on the roads, which is fantastic, and we're going to do a few videos to help support you guys. Just a few little simple things that you can do to help you on your way. First things first is we're going to look at how to change a tube on the road. You can carry something like this, available through girocycles.com. It's a little saddlebag that sits under your saddle, kind of just there. And in that, you can carry a few different things. So in this one, we've got a couple of tie levers, a little multi-tool, and a tube. And for most riding, that's pretty much all you need. Some people carry a little pump, some people carry CO2. The choice is up to you. Personally, I just carry a little pump because you get punctures that infrequently. Sitting on the side of the road, pumping it up is not that bad. Next thing, guys, we're going to go into changing the tube. A few things can cause a puncture. One is something going in through your tyre. So that could be a little piece of metal, piece of flint, anything like that. So that is something that you have to find and get out before you put your new tube in. Another thing that can cause a puncture, especially if you're running your tyres too low, is something called a pinch flat. So that's basically when you hit a pothole or something like that and it pushes the tyre and it pinches the tyre and the tube against the rim. So you usually get two little punctures from something like that. So that's something you'll see pretty quickly when you take your tyre off the rim. So get your tyre off, guys. Undo your little valve stem here. Make sure all the air is out first. Sometimes there's a little bit left in there. And the next thing to do is to push the tyre off the little bead all the way around and push it down into that center channel, and do that on both sides. Some tyres are easier than others to do this. This one's really nice and easy. Getting that down into that center channel just makes it much easier to get the tyre off. Okay, so the next step is to get your tyre lever. I like to start opposite the valve. Sometimes you can get it off with one if it's a nice loose fit. Sometimes you might need to use two. But basically you should put the tyre lever in there, hooking onto the bead, push it all the way out. If you put a bit of pressure on here with your hand, you can usually just run that tyre lever all the way around and then just take your tube out. Now, if you know you've got a pinch flat, like you've run over a pothole and your tyre's immediately gone down, you can skip this next step. If not, just carefully check all the way around the tyre to see if there's any kind of obvious bits of flint or glass or sort of metal bits or anything like that that you can see poking up, and just pull those out. The next step is to check the inside of the tyre. You can check this with your thumb just by running your thumb around, but you do run the risk if there is something there of cutting your thumb. So you can just check it visually. Generally, if I've checked the outside and I can't see anything there, I'll just got to risk it to get the biscuit. Just check all the way around the inside there. So with your old tube, once it's all folded up, stuff it in your jersey pocket and pop it in the first bin you find. There are also a few tube recycling programs available. Sometimes local primary schools and things like to use them for arts and crafts, so try and keep it out of landfill if you can. Grab your new tube, unravel it all the way. You'll probably have a valve cap and a little thing on there, so just whip those off for now. And then you want to put a little bit of air in there. It just helps it mount into the rim. Not much, just so it kind of just about takes its shape. And then you can wind that back in to close it off. You'll notice we haven't taken the tyre fully off the rim. We don't need to. Find your valve hole. Make sure your logo's lined up with your valve hole because that looks pro. Slot the valve all the way down and then pull the tyre over the top and just seat the tyre all the way in, all the way around. A handy tip as well is push the valve up before you try and start to seat the tyre, and that way you make sure you're not pinching the tyre between the tube and the rim. So work your way around, kind of pushing the tube up into the tyre all the way around. The toughest bit's usually the top, so again make sure you've got that bead in that centre channel all the way around, same as we said at the start. So you'll get to that last bit and you'll see you might have a little bit of a tube poking out there, so just grab your tyre lever and push that up all the way around. Push your tyre lever underneath, and just where it's coming off the tyre there, pop it on, and then you should usually be able to get the last little bit just with your hands like that, just using a rolling action, pop it on. Really important thing to check then is that you haven't got the tube poking up between the tyre and the rim. So once you've got your tyre on all the way on, we can grab your pump and just pump it back up. So this is Jamie's wheel. He's about 70 kilos, despite what Zwift says. And it's a 25C tyre, so I'm going to put this up to about 70 PSI, should be about right. Okay, once you're up to pressure, take off your pump. Make sure you tighten up the valve. You can pop your valve cap on. You don't actually need those, but some people like them. Pop it back on your bike, put all your bits back in your skin grows back saddlebag, and away you go. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully that's been helpful. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.